Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's CJ Hunter, aka CJ the Exec. I wanted to do an update to a video that I did last week about my dialysis journey and trusting the process. I got my report card last week, and I was talking to you guys about how I was super duper excited and happy about a lot of the numbers that were going on, but my creatinine levels, which are the 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 levels by which they measure the functionality of your kidneys, are still high. And you know, since then, I've had dialysis on last Saturday, and I had dialysis yesterday, which was Tuesday, and I've kind of gotten a better understanding, and based on some research that I've been doing, and getting help from Miss Lisa and stuff like that, I kind of came to get a better understanding of what's going on with everything. So all of the things that they measure when it comes down to the blood work for your report card, all of these things are interconnected, and they all come together to work towards benefiting the functionality of your kidney, right? And y'all, there are a myriad of different reasons why people are on dialysis. Whether they have high blood pressure, low blood pressure, diabetes, lupus nephritis, whatever the case may be, there's so many different things that affect the kidneys and cause them to go into, renal failure, thus needing dialysis. And so when they're testing you, they're testing your levels of the phosphorus in your blood, potassium in your blood, calcium, all these things that go into how well your kidneys function. And there are two measurements that I did not mention, and those are your URR levels and your KT/V levels. URR is the measure of how well the dialyzing machine is cleaning out your blood, right? Because remember, I told you in the port that you have in your chest, there's two knobs, right? There's a red knob and there's a blue knob. The red knob represents the blood being cleansed, right? Right, which is what the URR measures, right? Like your blood goes throughout this dialyzer, and the dialyzer sends it through the machine, cleans the blood, and then the blood gets sent back to you. And then the blue knob represents the fluid that the machine is removing from your body, the excess fluid. Because what we're trying to do is we're trying to get to our dry weight. And the dry weight is literally what you weigh once all of the excess and unnecessary fluid has been removed from your body. And then KT/V, that measures the effectiveness of the time that you spend on the machine, right? So for me, I go to dialysis 3 days a week, and each day I spend 3.5 hours on the machine, right? So URR and KT/V are interconnected, especially because if the URR is measuring the efficiency with which your blood is being cleansed, and KT/V, measures the time, both of them have to effectively work together. If in that 3.5 hours, my blood isn't being cleansed like it should be, right? Then we have to have a conversation about extending the time. If my URR is saying, hey man, this blood is getting cleansed and it's getting cleansed properly, and you start to see the creatinine levels or the functionality of my kidneys, you know, increase, and my kidney function is really coming back to normal, then you have the ability to decrease the amount of time that I'm on the machine. And sometimes you can improve so much that, shoot, not only do you decrease the time, but you decrease the frequency by which you know, go to dialysis. So there's all these interconnected things that are going on. And essentially, what's going on with me is that my KT/V and my URR are not up to par. And there's a solid explanation for that. So as y'all know, there's all kind of supply shortages going on all across the country with pretty much everything. And for a good part of the first quarter of this year, there was a nationwide supply shortage for dialysis material, right? And what that meant was that we had to use smaller dialyzers, which is kind of like a cylinder, you know, type of thing that the blood is being, you know, sent through, right? Like that's what they call the dialyzer. And so the type of dialyzer that I need wasn't in supply. And so not only were there so many different supplies that weren't, you know, available to these dialysis centers, but then they also had to cut down the time, right? Remember that KT/V and the URR, right? So it's like, all right, cool. I'm coming to dialysis 3 days a week for the first quarter of this year. And I'm only on the machine for 3 hours. But not only am I on the machine for only 3 hours, the dialyzer that I need is much smaller than what I should have been on. Thus, the ability to really cleanse my blood effectively, like, you know, it really ended up becoming a problem, which was why my creatinine levels have been so high the last 3 months, because all of these things go hand in hand. And so as I go on this journey, y'all, the lesson that I'm learning is that you always got to be willing to learn about the process, trust the process. You know, you got to do research and ask as many questions as you possibly can. You know, figure out what your edge is. And this doesn't just go for those of us who are on dialysis. This is just with, you know, whether you have a chronic illness like that or some other type of chronic illness. But, you know, being able to educate yourself, asking the right questions, and you know, to get better answers is always so very crucial, y'all, because you know, there's so many changes, and you know, you always want to just be on top of those types of things, because you never know, you know, what's gonna happen. You know, and science comes out every single day, changing the minds and medical pedagogy or philosophy of doctors daily. So it's up to you to really, you know, hone in on that. Make sure you take care of yourself, because there's no bigger advocate for you than you. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all, you know, learn something from this video. I appreciate all the support that I've been getting thus far. Please do me a favor. Please like this video. Comment down below if you can relate, or just, you know, leave some encouraging words. I always get, you know, energy from the people around me, the people that are encouraging me, you know, because sometimes going through this journey, man, it's difficult to pump yourself up, right? Especially when you're not feeling well. Share this video, you know, spread the word, and subscribe to the Wellness Corner YouTube channel, man. You know, I'm coming out with content every single week. I got the Wellness Corner podcast, and we're about to be up. So y'all have a great one. Peace.